This is the 2018 ordinary level interpretations of accounts question. Again, we're just going to focus on part A. So just like the last question, we have our trading profit and loss and we have our balance sheet. Okay, so first thing we're required to do is to calculate to 2 decimal places the figure for purchases. I don't need to go through a formula for this. Obviously, to find purchases, we're looking in our trading profit and loss. And if you look at it here, we're given figures for sales, opening stock, closing stock, and gross profit. So if missing figures here, really all that I'm missing is purchases. Once I fill in purchases, I'll have that figure. There's a little bit of the two of these added together. And then once I take closing stock from my cost of goods available for sale figure, I'll have my cost of sales. But how do I work back to get purchases? Well, the simple way to look at it from the start is I have my sales and I have my gross profit. Therefore, I can get my cost of sales. So sales minus cost of sales is equal to gross profit. So my sales figure is 660,000. My cost of sales figure we don't know, and my gross profit figure is 352,000. 660,000 minus 352,000 is equal to 308,000, which is my cost of sales. Now that I have my cost of sales, I have this figure here. How do I get my purchases figure? Well, simply 26,000 plus X minus 14,000 is equal to my cost of sales. I know that my opening stock and my purchases together, stock purchases less closing stock, gets me cost of sales. So I have opening stock. My opening stock figure is 26,000. I have my purchases figure. I do not have my purchases figure. I have to work that out. I have my closing stock. My closing stock is minus 14,000. And finally, I have my cost of sales figure. My cost of sales figure is what we just worked out up here, 308,000. So to get from our opening stock, we have to add our purchases, take away our closing stock. So this missing figure here is 26,000 plus X minus 14,000 is equal to 308,000, and that works out at purchases is equal to 296,000. Again, 26,000 plus X minus 14,000, and you work it out, say 12,000 plus X, 308. 308 minus 12,000, 296,000. So that's my missing figure, 296,000. That's what I was asked for in the question, the figure for purchases. So it's 296,000. What is it? It's euros. Euro symbol isn't on OneNote for that command, so I'll just type in euros here. Obviously, I'll be writing the euro symbol. So that's part A. It's the first one. So the second one in part A, I'm asked to look for the net profit margin. So I have put, this is your OneNote 5th year accounting. I have put your formulas because there's 17, 18 that I've put up here on OneNote. I put the formulas here under part A formula list. So the one we're looking for is the net profit margin, also known as the net profit percentage. So I'm going to go to my formula list. It's up here at the top. It's under profitability, and it's net profit margin or percentage. So this is my formula, and the answer is going to give me percent. I'm just going to copy it just to be faster. So again, for these questions, you have to learn off the formulas. That's my formula, and the answer is going to be equal to percent. So I just plug it in. My net profit for the year was 254,000. I can see that at the bottom of my P&L, this figure here. My sales figure that I'm going to put below it is at the top of my P&L at 660,000. Credit sales, that's the figure I'm given there. 660,000. So I multiply by 100 divided by 1, and my answer is equal to, I have to write that. My answer is equal to 38.48%. 254,000 divided by 660,000 multiplied by 100 over 1 is 38.48%. Once again, once you know the formula, you're just putting in those figures, multiplying it out, and that's your answer. Okay, so that's the second one dealt with. The third one I have to deal with now is my period of credit given to debtors. So again, this is another formula. My period of credit given to debtors, I'm going to see up here in my activity section. It's my debtors collection period, so average period of credit allowed to debtors. Two things. This formula again, just debtors divided by credit sales, quite easy to work out, they're given in the question. But you can multiply it by 365 or multiply it by 12. So by multiplying it by 365, I get my answer in days, and I'll find the average amount of days it takes my debtors to pay me back. If I multiply it by 12, I'm going to find the months. So it'll tell me 6 months it takes on average to have my debtors pay me back. So either or would obviously be used depending on what they ask you for. Now if you look at the question here, they haven't actually asked us specifically for days or months. They haven't said the period of creditors given to debtors in months or in days. Generally when they leave it open, you go for days, just because it's more specific. You can find out, okay, it's 52 days, so instead of 2.1 months. So what I'm working out here so is my formula again. Okay, and I'm just going to copy it over so it'll be a little bit faster. Average period given to debtors, formula, plugged it in there, and my answer is going to be in days. So working this out here, I have my debtors. Debtors is given here in the balance sheet. Trade debtors 65,000. Under that, I'm going to have my credit sales. My credit sales is given at the top, 660,000. All I'm doing here again is multiplying by 365, and I'm going to get my answer equal to, just previously worked out, 35.95 days. So 65,000 given, 660,000 given at the top. Divide the two, multiply by 365, and my answer is in days, 35.95. The fourth one I have here, the very last one we're going to work out, is the asset test ratio. Again, nice and quickly, we're going to go back to our formulas. Asset test ratio is here. It's current assets minus closing stock is to current liabilities. It's a ratio. So my answer is going to be whatever, 2 to the times 1 or something like that. How many times does my current assets minus closing stock go into my current liabilities? How do I work it out? Quite easy. My current assets, 93,000, given here in the question, 93,000. My closing stock, am I going to find it here in my current assets? No, because they haven't listed information. My closing stock I can find up here, be 14,000. It's my closing stock for my trading profit and loss. Same thing. So minus 14,000, and that's going to be in put up against my current liabilities. So it's a ratio to find out which is larger. My current liabilities is given here. My short-term liabilities within 1 year, 52,000. So all I simply do is 93 minus 14,000 is going to be 79,000 is to 52,000, and that works out at 1.52 is to 1. So 1.52 is to 1. So again, that's working out whether my current assets minus my closing stock is greater than my current liabilities, whether I can pay my short-term debts. Therefore, for the 2018 ordinary level question.